Hey everyone, it's time for a studio update. My name is Aisling Drennan and every week I come on and just chat about what's been going on in my studio. So last night I shared a post that I'm about to move into a new phase of painting, and the way I start off is using small works on paper. They act as a space to try different ideas and palettes and to have a space to play on essentially. So I will be offering 4 of these paintings via my newsletter. You can sign up via the link here, and they will be available for £250 each. You will receive them flat packed, unframed, and they will each have a little border, so they will be very easy to frame up yourself if you so wish to do. 2 of these are already on reserve, so if you would like to reserve one, just pop me a DM. If you reserve one, it just means that you're interested and that you want to see how the painting finishes, which is fine. It doesn't mean you have to take it at the end. It just means that you can register your interest. So what I'm going to do over the next couple of weeks is be sharing the making and the processes that I use and the overall development of these paintings. And what's really lovely and unique about doing that is that you get to see how I get from A to B to C in the painting, and I think, well, I know from previous buyers that it gives great insight into the painting for when they receive it. So what I'm going to do first is have a little chat through these, and then I'm going to show you some of the larger works that I'm going to start working on. So if you've been following me for a while, you will know that I have a big interest in rock landscapes. So all these shapes that you see behind me all come from previous studies and experiments into abstracting from stonewall landscapes and transferring that onto my paintings. So I've started off with 2 small yellow paintings because yellow I tend to find quite challenging as a colour to work with, but last year I did some really good progress working with yellow and I want to try and move with that a bit more. So both of these paintings have a couple of layers down already, and what I've done is taken a rag and pushed back in through the layers. So that means that you get some depth into the tonality, and you also get to see some of the texture of the paper. This is oil paper coming through, and it just gives like a lovely sense of texture. It's very delicate at this stage still, but it's just starting to find its feet, to find its confidence, let's say. I'm also playing a lot with the gradients through each painting, and this is done through flipping the painting from one side to the other as I add different layers. This is the blue one. So I love blue. You know this if you've been following me for ages. I'm very comfortable using it, but I want to try and change up the application of these marks that I've been using with my finger to push through. I want it to become more horizontal rather than all quite vertical. So that's what's happening there. And then this is the green one, which hasn't reached that level of nice tackiness where I can start pushing through the layers of paint. So it's still drying, but this is where you can see I've left the masking tape on, and that's what gives you the nice clean borders for later, because otherwise it would get a little bit messy, which is not what we want. And then I had started on these 2 yesterday as well. Wasn't happy with the way that they were going, so I decided to abandon them. But what I will do is cut them up and sort of rephrase them in my visual diary, and that means that I'll take certain elements that I know I want to record and use again in the future, and they all serve a purpose, but it doesn't mean that they all work out the way I want. Start off on these smaller works on paper because they will be used to inform these beauts that I finally got. Because of COVID and Brexit, it's been tricky to get larger materials, so delighted with these gorgeous soft linen surface. And so that sounds like a bow run. These are 80 by 80 centimeter. I've got 4 of them. Really looking forward to getting moving on them. But first I'm gonna trial a few ideas out in this. So these play such an important role in my painting practice because they dictate basically how finished paintings, larger works are gonna go. And that's why they're very, they're really important to my painting practice. and I cherish them, and that's why I decide to keep some of them and some of them I sell. So if you have any questions about anything that I'm talking about, or if you just want to know a bit more information, just pop me a DM. I'll be sharing loads of videos over the next couple of weeks about my painting processes and techniques and the materials that I'm using. So yeah, hope you're going to find it interesting.